you all need to go and touch grass. Like, go and touch grass. If you want someone to provide for you, just say, oh, you guys, I'm looking for a provider.
Right. So if someone is expecting to bring 50% and their partner will bring 150, that's not gonna work.
They're always like, oh, I do not want to commit. I do not want to. Okay, so when you were dating, what were you doing? This guy believes that he has to have sex to know if he's going to marry. So how many people is he going to have sex with?
Everybody.
One thing I don't like is how people say, oh, people are always horny, that's why they get married early, especially as Christians. Do you feel like talking stage should be long?
No, like what are you talking about? I might not be prepared for what is inside the marriage, but I'm prepared that knowing that God is going in it with me, and that's enough.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's still for me Oye, and I am here with Brandy. I'm going to give her a second to introduce herself very soon, but if this is your first time here, you are welcome, and if this is not, welcome back. Thank you for watching another video of mine. Today Onyade is going to be teaching us some particular things that we youngins do not know about. I got a question on my Instagram about my view on the modern dating scene, I would say, so we're going to be talking about that with Brandy, but let's leave the floor to Brandy to introduce herself.
Hi guys, my name is Brandy. I am a holistic faith and lifestyle content creator based in Ottawa, Canada. I'm engaged to be married in about 45 days, which is really cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it about me. Okay,
so Brandy, how do you feel about like the modern day dating scene?
So the modern day dating scene, it's very complex, okay? It's very there's a lot of situationships out there. It's very complicated. That's why you ask a regular Joe like, how's your relationship or whatever, and they're always like, it's complicated, because it really is. And I feel like people fail to put titles on their relationships. A lot of people are very selfish in relationships, which is why a lot of relationships don't last. People don't understand the reason why they go into relationships in the first place. It's more so like just vibes on vibes. A lot of people are very self-centered. People don't care about the other person, and the beauty about a relationship is that both of you have to bring 100% of yourself to that relationship for it to work. So if someone is expecting to bring 50% and their partner will bring 150, that's not gonna work. I think the modern day dating scene can really do better with a lot more patience, a lot more grace, a lot more love generally.
Okay, so for me, I'm going to give my 2 cents on this. I feel like the modern day dating scene is extremely chaotic. Like, if you're on Twitter, I'm on Twitter from time to time, every
day.
I'm reading one tweet or the other, and I'm just like, you all need to go and touch grass. Like, go and touch grass, because I feel like the modern day dating scene makes it feel as if everything revolves around one particular person, right? And I think what I've seen mainly is that women want like men to give them everything, like give them like their 100%, but women are really not giving men anything, right?
Like some women.
Yes,
right?
Some women. I'm not saying you should settle. Nobody should settle, man or woman, do not settle, but there are just some things I read and I'm just like, are you looking for a lover, or just like someone that will just provide you, or a provider? Basically, if you want someone to provide for you, just say, oh, you guys, I'm looking for a provider. Don't say you are looking for
a boyfriend or anything.
A companion, right? In like this modern day dating scene, right, we see that most people are dating for the vibes of dating, just to have the experience and all of that. Brandy, what do you think about that one? And you are quite young, right? And you're getting married soon. How do you feel that, like, not how do you feel people are not getting married early, but how do you feel that you are part of the people getting married early?
Okay, so the first question you asked was about
how people are just dating for vibes.
Yeah, so I can never understand that. I feel like people don't understand the emotional stress, and maybe not stress. Stress might not be the right word. How much you have to give emotionally. What you're pouring out. Exactly. What you're pouring out emotionally that you want to date for vibes. Like, I feel like if I wasn't absolutely sure that the person I'm with right now is my forever person, I wouldn't be dating.
So you just like be there for like the vibes.
I wouldn't be doing anything.
So you would talk to someone at least?
I will talk to someone, right?
Okay.
That's why there's a talking stage. Even though I feel like the talking stage is now being abused a lot, right? Because people want to stay in talking stage and want relationship benefits, which is never gonna happen.
I feel like that's for men, to be honest, but we'll come there very soon.
I don't think I have the strength and the emotional ability to be able to keep pouring and pouring and pouring into something that is not even official. And you asked me another question about
how do you feel? Like
how do I feel getting married young? For context, I'm 23 and obviously I'm Christian as well, right? Both my partner and I heard from God about our decision to get married, so it wasn't just something that we did on vibes. We dated for 5 years, almost 6 years, in 6 years in about 2 months. We were certain about what we wanted. We were certain about the kind of marriage that we want to have. So I feel like people expect me to say, oh my God, I'm so nervous, I'm so scared, but I think I'm going into this marriage somewhat prepared. I might not be prepared for what is inside the marriage, but I'm prepared, that knowing that God is going in it with me, and that's enough. God is going into the marriage with me, that's enough for me. I'm very happy, very excited. Like I'll say that we're somewhat living our dream at this point. Yeah, so marriage is a good thing, guys. I know that there's this kind of negative connotation attached to being married,
especially being married earlier. So I was talking to my bigger cousin like a few days ago, right? I don't know, we're just talking about marriage. I was like, oh, maybe I'll get married soon. She's like, are you alright? What do you mean you want to get married soon? That, you know, young. I'm seeing like a lot of young people around me get married, right? And even like maybe my pastors and everything. And one thing I think I'm learning as of recent is that marriage is not the end of. I feel like people feel like, oh, you've done your undergrad, you've done your postgraduate,
like
you are working. If you've done all of that, then that is the next thing. But I feel like that is not how it should be. There are some people, I'm not saying like this is some people, right? Some people get married during their undergrad, right? They might have heard from God, nobody knows. Some people, they get married like right outside of school. One thing I don't like is how people say, oh, people are always horny, that's why they get married early, especially as Christians. There's that factor though, because nobody wants to fall, right? But at the same time, getting married and they're doing something that's making me laugh, but I feel like getting married young is not the end of your life. It's the beginning of a new stage, right? So when she was just talking, it just made me feel like
it's also a factor of the things that our parents or the people before us have experienced. We don't necessarily have the greatest of marriages around us or a good example for us to follow. Not a lot of people can say, well, this is my parents' marriage and I want my marriage to look like this, because they've seen a lot of things happen within their parents' marriage that they never want for themselves. So I think that's definitely a factor as well as to why a lot of people feel like getting married early is sort of bondage.
And also I feel like there's just that like fear. I don't know how to explain it. If you people are dating someone, right? Let's just say you've been dating someone for so long. Why do you feel marriage is a larger part of like commitment? They're always like, oh, I do not want to commit. I do not want to. Okay, so when you were dating, what were you doing?
It was just vibes.
Did you have the opportunity to still talk to other people? I feel like if you are dating someone, you're already committed to that person. So why not take it a step further and get married? That makes like marriage just like different. I think it's just the ring and you people calling each other husband and wife, and right? Like
I feel like another thing is because marriage is more permanent. There's no out for you during marriage, and I feel like a lot of people really want that openness to be able to go out of whatever relationship they are in.
So I have another question. You know how you spoke about talking stage, right? Do you feel like talking stage should be long?
No, like what are you talking about? I feel like it depends, right? I always encourage people to get into a relationship with someone that they were friends with beforehand, right? If you are not friends with the person and you might need like a little bit of a longer talking stage, but let it be defined as a talking stage. Like let it not
for us to know each other,
right?
Let
it not be like fluid. Are we talking? Are we seeing? Are we doing all this stuff? Don't be visiting each other on the talking stage. Talk to get to know each other, to know who that person is. And I'm telling you, you can literally get to know someone within 2 to 3 months. Like anything after like 3 to 4 months ish, 5 months
and nothing
on
has
the talking stage, and nothing has been defined, but they're still expecting like relationship benefits.
No,
that's not happening. Talking stage doesn't have to be long. Like we're not about to die in a talking stage.
You know how the Bible doesn't really define dating for like we Christians, right?
Yeah.
How would you advise someone to go about dating? Because I feel like in recent times, right, when you see people that are dating, there's no difference between we are dating and we are married. They are literally doing everything together.
I feel like it's also the world's concept of dating. The world has completely like infiltrated even like Christians' mindsets as to what dating is, or as to what courting someone is, right? I think it's a time where you are trying to get to know another person. The world, the things we see on television, the media, what the media is putting out has given us another definition to it. Like you see people moving in with their partners and whatever. And the thing about Christians is that we always try to emulate what the world is doing, as opposed to the world emulating us. And that's why we find ourselves trapped in this place of, yeah, but what I'm doing is not a sin. Yeah, what you're doing might not necessarily be a sin, but the question is that God's plan for your dating relationship with the person? And people like to deceive themselves. Yeah, we can live together and nothing's gonna happen. Don't lie to yourself. The moment you start cooking for someone, the moment you start like sleeping with someone or sleeping over at someone's house, it's only human that things will start to happen, and you guys start to feel like husband and wife when you are technically not even husband and wife, right?
Know, this thing you said about like the world's POV on dating, right? So in my philosophy class, this philosopher was like, oh, marriage, like the philosopher's POV, I do not agree, but marriage like is for sex, and I think the philosopher believes that you should not have sex before you marry. Yeah, I'm a Christian, so please do not have sex before you marry, right? But this guy in my class goes, oh, why? How would I know if the sex is good or not? This guy believes that he has to have sex to know if he's going to marry. So how many people is he going to have sex with?
Everybody. I think that's another thing that the world has kind of made it look like we can't do without, right? Sex, right? Everything is so hypersexualized, everything is so over-sexualized, and people always say that, yeah, I have to test what I'm buying before I purchase it. But even Christians do say that, and my question is that God's way? Is that what God would have you do? Sex is supposed to be something that is developed between two people that have chosen to spend the rest of their lives together, right? You guys are supposed to discover yourself. Sex is not an ultimate thing. It's not something that you cannot learn or you cannot get better in. It's not something that you either know how or you don't. No, it's something that you can learn to do. There are Christian like sexual therapists and stuff that would help you do better in your sexual life. That's the whole point of being married. Two people coming together, becoming one, and growing together. It's not just about sex. Sex is probably like what? 10% of the entire marriage.
So you guys, my camera died, but we're back. So we're just talking about how people make sex such a big deal in marriages. They just act like without sex they cannot live, and there's so much more that I believe marriage entails other than sex. Yeah, actually Brandy already told us that she's not afraid or nervous to get married, right? And she explained that because she knows that God is going with her into this, right? But I don't want to question your assurance, right?
Go ahead.
But you know how like some people, even in their assurance, there's just that little bit of
and I'm gonna be lying if I say that I like they're not days, but I feel like are you even sure? It's so funny, like over the past like 3-4 days, every time I wake up, that's the first question I always ask my fiance, are you still sure it's me? Are we still sure it's both of us? And every time you keep reassuring me that yes, it is you who are doing this, and I'm like, if you're getting cold feet, just tell me.
So you ran away.
I'm just being dramatic, but there will be times where you feel like, oh my God, can I do this? Am I able? Am I capable? But it's just remembering the reason why you guys chose to do this in the first place.
Also, one more question. You are young, so there was not that pressure whatsoever. But let's say you should advise people that are like a bit pressured for like marriage.
No, I'm gonna say 100%. Like, take your time. Marriage is not something that you want to rush into, because it's that kind of thing that if you rush into it, you will rush out. Simple as ABC. So I don't recommend anybody rushing into marriage. Don't feel pressured. I know that there is a stigma, especially in African homes, where once you're over a certain age, they expect that why if you're not married, like every other thing that you do doesn't really matter. But don't feel pressured into marriage. Don't try to rush. Just take your time. Let God guide you. Let him lead you. Let him be your protector. Let him be the one that's telling you, okay, now move a step forward. Okay, now move a step forward. I think when you're working with God and walking with him as well, everything will fall into alignment. Everything will fall into place. Although it may tarry or it may look like it's taking time, everything will work out for you in Jesus' name.
Amen. So I actually do not have any other questions for Brandy. If you guys have more questions, just put it in the comment section somewhere. We're going to definitely film a part 2 for you guys. And yeah, thank you, Brandy, for coming on my channel to grace us with your presence once again. It's nice to have you, and see you guys on the next one. Bye.